Hello, ladies. How are you? Well, here's this handsome dancer. He's excuse me. He's sleepy-eyed, and his name is Ryan. Well, I happen to be sitting here. It's really nice. Tonight is Friday, and it's such a nice night. So I was looking at my YouTube videos, and I've seen Kelly Girl, and she was kind of piggybacking off of Erica Jones. How do collectors afford high-end silicone dolls? And I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anyone else because if I look at, I've seen some doll collectors, and I'm like, from we can stereotype. We don't know, but I can say they're very wealthy. I hear people work and I work too, and or you can afford them, and there's a layaway. There's a lot of different options, and there's even sacrifices that have to be made on affording a silicone doll. I just speaking of how I started and where I'm at, and I'm still climbing that ladder because there's still a Romy that I want. I don't want her new one. I want one of her old ones because it's a sleepy eye, and I am picky. So it doesn't have to I could be the second mommy because I want what I want. It doesn't have to be brand new unless it's a sleepy eye. But um, my point of wanting to talk about this is I believe that if people are content with what they have and you really want something, I believe in patience. It works itself out. You'll have it, especially if it's a desire. And the reason why I say that is because the very doll artist that I have always loved from 2002, I have her dolls today. Back then, her dolls were $2,500 and they were her one of a kind. And I have always wanted one of her babies. But I knew at that time that wasn't even fitting in our budget. Our children were young. And I worked here and there. I did nursing a little bit, but on a whole, our daughter needed us home. And I really had to really spend my time around her. And I knew I couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford it. And to even consider, to even ask my husband to do that would not have been fair at all. So I knew what we could afford, and I knew the things that we were doing because I made sure that we went on vacations, our children had, and we weren't lacking. So to ask him, it was like that wasn't even in the, but I knew I wanted it and I desired it. And it was a couple of things I desired. And my point of saying all of that was that later on, one of my sisters came up with, we were going to do a birthday club. And we did. So I knew every year I was getting $500 from my sister. And I knew every year, I started collecting in 97, 96. And I started with Lee Middleton, Adora, Aston Drake, and there's a couple of more that was on the list. And some of them, the Aston Drake was because Lorna Miller Sands was in that collection. She also was in the Lee Middleton catalog as well. But I knew what we could afford, and I stayed in my lane, as my daughter say. People need to stay in your lane, and there has to be balance. I feel in your life for it to be really enjoyable, because then you don't find that people are stealing or scammers or whatever you want to call them. I enjoy, and I'm not desperate, to buy another doll or whatever. I'm very careful about when I'm selling my dolls or even giving them away. And I remember the one time I wanted a cricket, And the cricket at the time was $398, and I knew it was in our budget to purchase. By no means, me being a housewife and my husband, he at that time I was getting my hair done all the time and stuff like that, and he took care of all that type of stuff. But I got allowance, and um, one of the things was I used to go in that Walmart and look at and go into the craft area and look at that cricket because I was scrapbooking and loved it. Long story short, my daughters and I, we would go in there like, Mom, why are you going on? I'm like, I can look at it even if I can't afford it, but I knew I wanted that thing so bad. And here, Christmas Day, my daughter brought it to my house because my older sister bought it for me and she shipped it, had it shipped to my daughter's house. And I never asked, but I knew I desired and wanted it, but I just knew I could not afford it. And my point of seeing that is that when you're content and thankful, I said you can get I think God blesses you with a lot. And it doesn't have to be a $500 cricket because she winds up buying everything to go with it. And she spent a lot of money and she sacrificed for me. That gift, but I always see that coming from God. And I believe my dolls too come from that. The clothing, that's another story. I got an addiction. As I say, pray for me. One addiction with the clothing. But as my children got older and they went to college and they got their careers and they got married and they could afford it, I see my dolls coming. Just last year, and I'm just gonna say it was just last year. My sister gave me $5,000. Just gave it to me for no reason. And my son, oh, and she turned around and brought me a bubby, and that's why. And I bought the other bubby out of the money, and the money out of the for the Gabby gal. And my son and his girlfriend bought me a Gabby gal, and that's how I wound up with 4 baby dolls at one time. Well, we all know Rachel moves a little slow because them babies shouldn't have landed all at one time. It took her a year to get them. And then I had Raven. Well, Raven, I was just a doll that I bought the following year, and I just never took the money back. I never got the money back, and I kind of left it there because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And here, Lorna made Raven. But my point of saying that everybody not always have to make sacrifices, but I know for my life, when it have come to my baby dolls, I honestly have been blessed some way that God always seemed to bless through someone else, because I gave away my dream baby, which was, I'm going to lose my tongue, my Paisley. And I literally gave that baby away. And I remember the woman, and the baby looked just like her husband too. And I'm like, what is she trying to scare me? Or whatever, you know. And I remember my oldest daughter, Martina's 42 now. She said, Mom, you have everything. But you know, the moment she said, you have everything, do you know what I thought about? I wasn't thinking about I had a nursery. I wasn't thinking about I had all these dolls. The first thing that hit my heart about God, Him being my provider and giving to me through my kids, and I thought about my husband and my children, the balance that I had in my life. And I did have everything. And that's what the first thing in my heart hit me. And it's like, I do. And you know what I felt like? I was spoiled. I was spoiled. And in that, giving that woman that doll, do you know that same year? That's why my sister turned around and gave me the $5,000, and out of nowhere, and bought the Gabby gal. And bought the Bobby. Yep, and then I took the money and got another Bubby and another Gabby Gal. My son and his girlfriend brought me the other one and paid for it in full. So it's like, mm. And Ryan came from paying for selling them. But it just happens as an individual. And I consider my babies, they're not full silicone. They are partial. But to me, $500 is a lot of money. And I consider Lorna Miller Sand an high end artist. As for it, not the dollar, but the quality. That's what, and I have high end dolls. That woman has been out long than most artists ever, and has been one of the top artists. And I love this woman. I've been following her, and I stick with her. I don't care what people say about her. As they say, I got your back. I'm with you. You know, I'm rolling with you, girl. And that's what to me a true an artist. And I really love Lorna. I like her work. And I didn't even, when I dealt with her silicone with Wyatt, and at first I was like, I don't know if I like this. But after having him and dealing with some of my other ones, I like it. It gives them more realistic. But I'm not saying I don't like my other silicones, but I do love the what she uses, and Raven, in London as well. And I like what down Clearport, London. And I also have another one of her babies, that Jenica, that I have. But I have to. My favorite, honestly, is Lorna. And that's to each his own. But I just believe that one have balance in their life. And Kelly Girl did bring up about, people say, oh, you could take this money and this could have fed so and so and so and so. Well, and this is not about bragging or anything. I do believe in the Word of God, and He does. I pay my tithing, I pay offering, and I pay above that. And I give to others. I give to Belize to help build homes over in Belize. For children over in Africa, feeding, adopting, yes. And I believe I wouldn't be um, a good Christian if I put baby dolls before any of that. I'm not saying this to hurt anyone or to change anyone's feelings, but there are some priorities that I believe come first. And I always say to myself, am I going to die without it? If I'm not going to die, then this is really considered a want. But I believe God gives us our desires of our heart as well. And there's, in the Word of God, it says, God gives seed to the sower. And I believe that when He says that, it's to be put in rightful places first. And He does give us money and things to enjoy. And He's our provider as well. So I don't know how it is for your life, because you may be able to, your salary you may be rich. I don't know that you could just do that. And that's fine. People work. A man is worthy of his hire. So, I just believe if it's honest, you didn't scam nobody, you didn't lie, you didn't steal, then it's fine. But I'm content, and and that's one thing that I love about Joanna. I do Joanna. No matter whether my videos sound crazy or I skipped or messed up, this is who I am. I've always loved my babies. I've done them there. I don't copy off of nobody, but I promise you, if I do, I'm going to tell you, oh, I copied off of Kelly Girl. Oh, I copied off of this person. Or and I really liked this. I will never take anything for myself, or I won't use someone else's video to be hurtful or to say smart comments or anything, because that's not what my hobby was about. My hobby was always for Joanna, for my enjoyment, never to show it because of somebody else. I am very excited. This silicone thing that started happening when I got London brought me out here to share with other. And I mean, I love, before I even got London, I'm like, I was so in love with Kelly Girl, one of hers, because of she had, she made her babies. I didn't care what baby she had. She made me that doll, even though I don't may not like that artist, or it was like she had a passion. And who was number one with that was, I think, Melissa Sue, and she had a Lorna Sam Miller and a baby color. She was a second mommy, and the color was coming off, and people talked about that baby, but she loved that baby to the utmost. And that is one thing that I love my babies, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of rough because I be changing clothes or whatever, and I have no intention of selling them. But if I do any damage, they are going back to Lorna, honey, and she gonna have to hook my babies up. She's like, so I told her, I said, listen, they changed, so I haven't lost any paint or any, we did have an issue with the hair. And after I combed it out and stuff, but she still had a lot of hair in the back of her head anyway. So, but I wanted more. So, but I'm able to talk to Lorna, and she's willing to do anything that I ask, or if it's something to be fixed. But we've been pretty good. But I am rough with, I'm gonna be honest, I am kind of rough with my silicones. I could be, but I try to be careful with them. But when you're changing them a lot, and they're not sitting up in anybody's corner nowhere. I do change their clothes quite frequently. So, but yeah, I just think that it's the individual, and like I said, I have been blessed, and I believe I've been blessed through God for being content, being patient, and I do desire, and I think He does give us the desires of our heart. But I'm gonna be honest, I am very faithful and giving and in serving. So sometimes we get blessed. All of us though not have to work and get it. All of us may not have to sacrifice. Some of us may have to work our buns off to get it. Some of us may have to sacrifice to get it. But I do believe in giving. I do. So when she made that statement about, this could have been, it was like, what it could have been. But Kelly Girl has the right to do what she wants. Everybody has the right to how they want to get it. But I just feel you want it to be an enjoyment. So you shouldn't sacrifice for the fact of making anyone suffer for what you just want. I don't think that it would be fair to, right now, our kids are pretty much grown now and gone. So, but to buy babies and not take me and my husband on a vacation, it was like, Joanna, because I pretty much take care of he allows me to handle the finances as far as doing the budgeting and paying all the bills and everything. But I think it would be really selfish of me if I'm taking our money and buying baby dolls, vacation, don't pay your bills or whatever. That is hard. So how do we afford it? It's the individual, high-end baby dolls. I feel no guilt, no shame, and I don't have to, because the way I got my babies, and I just believe honestly, mine have been a blessing, and God has blessed me through my siblings, my sister, through my children, through my husband. So, I just think that when you look at it, it's, it's the way you look at it, or your life, and but my point of giving all of that, starting from there, I started out what I was thankful, and I had to get what we could afford and where we are. And I'm not finished on the ladder, because I'm hoping that I will get my Romy, and maybe she will make another sleepy eye. But if she doesn't make a sleepy eye, then I guess I have to take this one that maybe one day the woman will sell, because I think that's the only sleepy eye that she had. out there. I only see one sleepy eye, but I would love to have her. I love sleepy eye babies. I'm not really big on sleepers, but you know, yep. I had a sleepy eye Paisley, and this is a sleepy eye Ryan. I like the sleepy eyes more than the sleepers. So, ladies, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Oh God, I see you guys in the next video, and y'all have a blessed weekend and safe.